Alito.
Alito.
So all my beautiful copper-colored people.
Yup.
Found here by who?
The Caucasians.
Yep, the invaders. So now we got another, lecture we're going to go into. And, we're going to go ahead and I want to give a special shout out to all you knockoffs, all your Garfield the cats, your Sa-Netta, Sa-Sucker, whatever you guys want to call these dudes or whoever they call themselves. One thing you know, and you notice with all these dudes, is that they always tend to come here. From the islands. Our brothers from the islands, right? Because they are our brothers. That's all a part of America, right? We're not splitting nothing up. We're not dividing no Central America, South America, the islands, Hawaii and all that. Nah, them is Americas. But you guys will always notice, right? This is the kicker. These guys always come here. Why don't they ever go to so-called Africa? Why aren't they going there? Garfield the cat, none of them. They all come here. And guess what? To all you knockoffs, all you so-called Pan-Africans, all you guys gonna die here. None of you guys are making a transition back to your so-called motherland / other land. All y'all gonna die here. In these Americas, with your ancestors. None of y'all ain't going back. Y'all love it here. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out why Garvey didn't even go to Africa. They talking about all this scrutiny and stuff was going on over there. He couldn't make it over there. Why they didn't want him over there? How come he couldn't make it over there? And guess where Garvey died? In London. Around the people that he's talking about is why he started the flag, and it goes back to that green again where he's talking about the flag. It makes it even more sense. It was for the Irish, the green on the flag. Why the heck didn't he go to Africa, so-called Africa? Why did he die in London? Right? These are the things that we need to be questioning. What is these? I mean, it's real basic common sense. But these guys are stuck in some, the Caucasians, with their trickery and sorcery. It's like they done played the X-Men, the Xavier, and got into their brains and created this false like Xavier does and blocks off certain parts of their brain and stuff that they can't use and got them going through this Africa slaves. They reliving that all in their mind like, we was defeated, the great defeat. While we over here like, what defeat? Ooh, this is the Great Awakening. We awake. We already know. We done did. We know that didn't happen. Like I said, it's going to take triple, quadruple, 8 times more of them to take one of us. Just like it do with the police. When they catch the brothers out there on the streets talking about, we got a so-called black male. First thing they be saying too, black male. Let them call me a black male. I'm going to take him to court and sue him for everything. And prove it. In front of everybody. Yeah, I got a black shirt on. I got a black phone. Is this the black male who's a black male? I want to know who you're calling a black male. Because I don't see no person around here the color of a chalkboard.
Me neither.
All I see is brown people. The real brown people.
Yep.
So we want to know about all that. We understand that y'all's forefathers, y'all inherited lies like the scriptures say. The Bible, y'all inherited lies from your forefathers. Yeah, you knockoffs. Your forefathers is the Caucasians. And you guys inherited them lies that they gave you. And your conscience been seared, like it says in the scriptures. Like a hot iron. A pride. A pride. You've been seared like a cattle. With these lies that it might not even be able to shake back from it. Some of y'all might be hopeless. And you knockoffs might have to start getting knocked off. Let them knock y'all off. So yeah, we're going to go into a lot more, you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of stuff that we're going to tackle. we really want to tackle this. It's called The Violent Collectors Who Gathered Indigenous Artifacts for the Queensland Museum. So you can see what they did to indigenous people in Australia and in them islands, the Indonesia, the real people. You guys gonna see this, and I'm gonna switch the camera. I'm gonna let my son. He gonna go in today. So go ahead and start reading it.
Europeans collected a huge number of Aboriginal artifacts during their colonization of Australia. These include weapons, bags, toys, clothing, canoes, tools, ceremonial items, and ancestral human remains.
So they was taking all kind of items and stuff. The stuff that we know that the Smithsonian is doing to us today. These Caucasians is taking all this stuff from the Australian Aboriginals. Toys, human remains. Like they've been doing here.
Body robbing.
Body robbing. The body snatchers. That's what they are. Go ahead. Continue.
Many institutions that hold these items are repatriating them to Aboriginal people, while repatriation is important. What often goes unrecognized is the crucial part that collectors played in the violent dispossession of First Nations people.
Of the First Nations, who we are, on the Americas, the First Nation people, the Aboriginals, the Tonchons, the ones who sprang from this soil, this brown soil. That's who we are. The brown people that sprung from this brown soil. And we spring up from all over. Not just no dang Africa. These people is crazy, man. And they got these knockoffs talking about the motherland, which is the other land, that they don't even go back to. They don't ain't even thinking about that. What Francis Galton and all these guys that gave them, Charles Darwin, Paul Broca, all these dudes, man. These are out of Africa theory people that gave you this. And these guys running with it. Their forefathers, they inherited these lies from their forefathers. The devils. You know, the devils, when you call like a Caucasian, these people that are in these elite positions, and you call them devils, a devil isn't some boogeyman, y'all. Wake up. The devil just means deceiver. And yeah, some of our people are the deceivers. The knockoffs, they're the deceivers too. They don't let you guys think for yourself. They tell you. That's why I shout out to Chief Holiday. He always say that, man. When I used to hear a dude, he used to always say, shout out to the Aboriginals, man. The American Aboriginals. Because they some smart people. They do research. And all of us that's bringing all this stuff out, we always telling y'all, go and do the research too. Just like I did the research. And been doing research. This is what y'all got to do. This is what they be saying. Go and do the research. These other people, nah. This is what it is, bro. Let me tell you. Nah. You ain't gonna tell me nothing. Let me figure this out myself. Give me the breadcrumbs to let me go and lead. See how that works? They don't do that, man. They want y'all to just sit and listen and be indoctrinated like they was. Talking about, oh yeah, I went to this college or we got these degrees. And? From your forefathers? Yeah, they gave you all that. Our forefathers give us common knowledge. We don't have to go and, jump through hoops and fire hoops and all that. We just look at the basic stuff and say, well, this is what it is. We ain't got to go and figure out, how did the slaves get up on top of this rock called Negro rock, which they call niggerhead rock? How'd they get up there and carve out a big old head like that of themselves? What you see the Caucasians did with over there in South Dakota or North Dakota, wherever that is, Dakotas. What they got all their heads all in the rocks, carved it in. They got that from us. These artifacts and stuff was here before they got here, and they seen it.
They copied us.
Yeah. So what was these slaves doing? Oh, they jumping on top of a rock, carving their head on top of a huge rock, a giant tons. Rock weighs tons. It's on the side of a mountain. They carved that in. Go ahead.
The museum amassed a significant collection of Aboriginal artifacts.
They hid a significant amount of Aboriginal artifacts of the Australian people. Same thing they did with the American Aboriginals here with us and our ancestors. Hiding bodies and all that. But then certain Caucasians did come with some truth. With Lucia, Naya, all these bones. Look up Lucia, Naya, and all these bones and stuff they found and said, oh, these is Negroes. They thought they was going to be Mongoloid bones. Them's what you would call the so-called, those Native Americans, the newcomers. Like I said, go and look up Chukchi. The Chukchi people. That's who they are. Go and look at those pictures. They're no different than doing the same thing, dressed the same way. And cats be getting mad because they see us with these shirts on and these hats and all that. Trying to leave comments. So what, man? We know it's a feather right there. We know there's feathers. That's why we say feathers up. If the people all look like this, if they dress like this, nah. This is a way, when I wear this stuff, it's a conversation started with our people. When they see us wearing this, it makes them, I got some interviews too. Of all kind of people, of ages, that I got. That's when I start telling y'all some stuff. I'm going to tell y'all some stuff. Our people that know their history. So all this knockoff garbage y'all talking about, and we didn't already debunk all that with the Africa town, Alabama, where it showed you that that little small community was able to keep their customs, language, and all that. And here you guys come with the knockoff. Oh, we wasn't able. They beat the language out of us. We wasn't able to keep it. No, they was able to keep it. They didn't take nothing from us. Them people was able to keep it, and we able to keep ours. We just lost it through negligence and all that. Not paying attention, following this system.
Listening to the Caucasians.
Yeah, the system they created. It's a business system. They created a business. That's all that's going on, man. A business. So go ahead.
Over the following 60 years, despite countless undocumented interactions between makers, owners, collectors, and curators, many of which were no doubt benevolent, frontier violence was a crucial aspect of the museum's collecting.
They was doing it through violence. Just snatching it up. Removing the people. You guys understand how they work. They remove the important ones first. Through disease and all that, all the chiefs and stuff, just the same way we was done. Once you understand, when you remove the head, the body will fall. But remember, we are the head, as you're so-called. Y'all that read the Bible, y'all should already be knowing that. Y'all is the head and not the tail. So part of the head been wounded, but guess what? It's coming back. And we're going to form like Voltron. And that's when the takeover happens. That's when we step away from their system, start building our own system. Because all these treaties and stuff was all done. Look at this, man. I just want y'all to understand. The way that we've fallen is the same way with these treaties and stuff they're telling you is what happened when you sign contracts. That's what treaties are. But you see we're in our land and we got the bad end of the stick, right? You see what happens to people that are in sports and entertainment. Your NFL players, your rappers. They sign contracts and get raped. And they bring the talent. They bring everything that needs to be brought. And they still end up with the short end of the stick. You look around like, dang, what happened to these guys? What happened to MC Hammer? Or they broke. Or what happened to this? Man, they wasn't really getting money. What happened to all the remember such and such the rapper? Oh yeah, he signed a bum contract deal. All them hits he was making, he ain't got nothing to show for it. Same thing with us. Our ancestors built all this stuff up. This is our land. They didn't just build it, they sprung out of the soil. And look what happened. Just a bad business deal through our ancestors' offspring that led unto us. You see what happens? Just like a person, you see a kid that inherited his father's business when his father passes, and he think he's making the right business deal and with these other guys, and then they end up doing all these contracts, signing paperwork. A few years later, 10 years later, the business tanks. Now he's out of a business. He done lost the family inheritance. But through the proper paperwork, as you can see, through contracts, which there's a way in, there's always a way out. So you see, we're in a trap and a snare. That's when you see, with you guys' so-called Bible, y'all that read them Bibles and stuff, and don't understand it's a code, the laws that it's talking about is these laws. You guys looking at some other laws, when it's talking about these laws, it's a code. We're going to go into that so you guys can understand these people that be, you'll understand that book, that Bible, them scriptures was really for our people, not for the others all over. You see them, we're going to go into a lecture with that. When you guys going to start seeing what done happen when these people get a hold of them scriptures, and you guys start seeing when they start taking it literally. And they start getting ate by lions over there in Africa, like the Sister Israel Redemption touched on. Me and my son done touched on some stuff where they done got a few of them done snatched up by crocodiles out there trying to baptize people and talking about they don't fear anything. That's what happens when you don't understand this book and you take it literally. You get killed. You see these Caucasians when they take it literally and they go and kill their kids and kill themselves. Our people don't do that stuff. We know. Something in us with that book that we know. No, you're not to be, look, it's metaphors and allegorical and stuff like that. Everything in there ain't to be taken serious. So we understand that. That's why we know that's our book. We ain't out there in churches like you seen with them Caucasians when it tells you you shall be able to tread on serpents and scorpions and not die. And these people out there with rattlesnakes in churches getting bit in the faces, passing out dead. Half of the congregation. That's what happens when you take stuff literally and you don't know. Because it wasn't given to you by your ancestors. Mm-hmm. That's why I say, y'all got to understand this language and stuff. You're talking about, oh, they gave us English and this and that. Man, this is ours. All this stuff is ours, man. They ain't brought nothing new. They was with the caveman. And the so-called bush people over in Africa. We already been speaking in Spanish and all that. That stuff's like second nature to us. Mm-hmm. They ain't brought nothing, man. Like I said, go and look at all the when you do your research. But look, ancient black Spain, ancient black China, ancient black Russia, ancient black Europe. All these so-called lands of black people pull up with people of the soil, the color. Mm-hmm.
That's their little code black.
Yeah. We're the same people, man. Now go ahead.
Instances of grave robbing and body snatching as methods of collecting are not specific to
body
Queensland.
snatchers.
Many institutions in Australia and abroad have problematic accusations, histories, particularly in relation to the study of remains.
Study of remains. That's what they saying they snatching the bodies.
Activists have been agitating for the return of cultural materials for decades.
Return of culture material. When we going to start advocating for ours? We know they got more of our stuff. Y'all know this. Y'all know they're the body snatchers. Grave robbers. Trinkets. All our gold and all that stuff. That's why we got to start knowing who we are. And stop getting taken mentally by the sorcerers, the colonizers. Come and take you mentally and take you off on a slave trip journey. Got you cats all on boats and everything. And like I said, none of y'all are going nowhere. All you guys talk all this garbage and you're not doing nothing, you're not going anywhere. All of you guys are going to die right here. All of you knockoffs, so-called Pan-Africans, you're all going to die right here. If Sonetta was to get fall over of a heart attack right now, he would die right here. And the people that they claim are so violent and vicious, they go to them, their forefathers. The devils. They're all devils. The whole knockoff community, the unconscious community, they're all devils. Because they'll tell you all these words. Cracker, cracker, these crackers did this, these crackers did that. Hey, did you get your DNA test done? Wait, you want me to go to the crackers that you've been telling me about? These violent people? Yeah, bro, but did you get your DNA done? People been leaving that all in my comments. They won't even refute the evidence, Africa Town, or any of the evidence. They'll just say, did you get your DNA test? Like, you idiots. I just got done going into a, that's what you can tell they don't pay attention. Just got done going into a lecture about how they was doing that to us in prison. Was snatching up people like that. And they didn't get me. Nah, we started fighting back through the legal way. The double-edged sword the scriptures talk about. What you should be bound. The same laws that bind you and bound you, you shall be freed from. Everybody knows that. It's like they show you with the phones. They try to say, oh yeah, you can't unlock this phone, then the phone gets unlocked. All these Apple phones, they betting. They producing the product and saying, yeah, we bet nobody can unlock this phone. Then somebody go and unlock it. Same way these laws are made. Double-edged sword. Can cut you and the other person. As long as you know how to tread on that sword and use that sword, you won't get cut. These are the laws it's telling you about. When y'all start focusing on the real laws, the laws that you're bound by, that they got. Not the laws that they give you in the Bible. That's all a part of nature, and those are some good laws too. But those that keep you, just like the knockoffs, keep you mentally somewhere else. When you ain't paying attention to what's going on here. Oh no, I'm waiting on this. Or nah, this is going to happen. And we're going to go into that lecture. I seen Dan Calloway touched on it a little bit with his newest videos. He's been going in too, man. But the real laws and all that is to deal with this in your land. Don't let nobody take you off of that. And just remember, the stuff that what we're talking about, you guys can save yourselves. Mm-hmm. I remember, you know, going through the church thing and all that. I'm under the schooling of the Israelites. I used to do a lot of research and studying with the Israelites. So if anybody be wanting to know, they'd be like, oh, is he a Moor? Is he this? Is he that? Nah. I'm an Aboriginal American. But I do a lot of the studying in my past with the Israelites. And that's where my school of study comes from, because I started to learn a lot out of that. And I took it a step further and started doing more research that I needed to do that a lot of you guys don't do. You guys go through these revolving doors because all these is doors. You go through this, that, and you grow out of it. And you got to make a step through the other doors. So once I started doing my research, going into and translating things into the Hebrew, Paleo-Hebrew, Venetian Hebrew, and then going into the pictograph Hebrew, and then going into Aramaic, cross-referencing with that, that's where everything started to come to life. And I was able to decode the Bible and find out, just like they tell you in the movie Hunger Games, a lot of it has to do with the Hunger Games. It's telling you certain things because it's telling you that things will start to go bad. It's like when they're telling you unclean food. Now you look around, everything's unclean though. Mm-hmm. It's all bad. Whatever you was considering clean is not clean. You thinking you a vegetarian? Show me a vegetarian right now that's that I can wake up in the morning and see CBS news and it show you all the people that done lived past 100. None of them was vegetarians. I know a lady that was a vegetarian got osteoporosis and everything. She's fading out. So you showed me that by you doing this magically eating, that you surpassing everybody else that's eating. Everybody's bodies is different. You might be able to drink poison or let's use for a snake. My son might get bit by a rattlesnake, end up in the hospital, and come out of it. I might get bit by a rattlesnake, and my body's different. It might just fall apart, and I'm dead on the operating table. This person over here might be able to eat this and get away with it. This person over here might not be able to. People been drinking them Cokes and all that stuff with aspartame, high fructose, corn syrup, and some people living. Some people ain't. Some people smoke cigarettes till they're 100-something years old. With all that garbage in there, and they smoke it and live a long life. Some of them fall out 30 years old with cancer, 40, 50, and be gone. Everybody's different. Everybody's immune systems and all that is all different. But go ahead.
Museums across Australia, including the Queensland Museum, have developed repatriation.
The Queensland Museum. That's what you guys need to be looking at. Go and look up the what's the article is. The violent collectors who gather indigenous artifacts for the Queensland Museum. When you pull up that article, you're going to read and you can see what and how they did to the Aboriginals of that land, the Australians, and all over, and what they're still doing with the Aboriginals over in Indonesia and all that. This is a move and a plot to remove us and teach everybody, oh yeah, you guys came from Africa. So that gives us the right to come on the land. And then you got the little mixed offsprings that they put in the forefront. They put the mestizos, the mulattoes, and all them in the forefront and push us all the way in the back. Go ahead.
Programs and policies. It works closely with Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islanders communities to prioritize the return of ancestral remains and sacred objects. But much material collected through violent means is still held in its collection.
Still held in its collections.
While there is no evidence of the museum being directly involved in frontier killings, the use of police protectors, missionaries, and frontier doctors as the dominant network of collectors implicates the museum as a passive beneficiary of dispossession.
So you're going to find out, when you guys read in this article, you're going to find that, we're going to touch on it a lot more too, but you're going to find out that these people was using our people. This is how they defeat you. Just like with the Buffalo Soldiers. Just like right now today. When you look at the Detroit riots and all that, the riots of Watts riots, guess who's in the military? Our people. Going against us.
Mm-hmm.
This is who our biggest enemy is. Our own people. And we're going to touch on some more. I got some stuff for y'all, man. Told you I got research, man. I researched. You're going to find out what the heck is this to do with these 5 civilized tribes, right? Then you got 5 military branches. Is that a coincidence? Now go ahead. Let's show them.
The Indonesia people.
Now y'all see that? See how when you pull up Indonesia? We're going to switch the camera around. We're going to let my son show y'all. Go ahead.